So I would like to welcome everyone today to the GABV Member Spotlight from around the world. We have more than 90 countries signed up for this. So banks and fantastic with our banks and partners. We really appreciate that you take time to join us for these periodic member spotlights. They're an opportunity to learn about the unique ways that leaders of our financial institutions approach their challenges and create opportunities to enact their social, environmental, and cultural missions. I am delighted to introduce someone that some of us know from the annual meeting, but we will get to know more through this conversation. Mamie Kalonda. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Finca in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. To put this in perspective, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the 11th largest country in the world, larger than Mexico, just to sort of put it in perspective, with wonderful natural and human resources. It's an unusual country because it's bordered by 10 countries. And it is situated at the heart of Africa in the Congo Basin, which is the second largest rainforest in the world. Just again, to give you perspective, that's 100 million hectares with 600 tree species and 10,000 animal species. So when we talk about biodiversity, it is one of the more unique places in the world. To introduce Mamie, she's been with the bank for 19 years, and she's had experience not only in the DRC, but in Tanzania, Zambia, Uganda. And she's been involved in a range of banking roles, implementing new structures, supporting portfolio growth, liquidity management. She is really an all-rounder banker, mobile banking, crisis management recovery, which is essential, and risk management. In Finca DRC, they are the largest microfinance institution in the DRC, 440,000 customers, 1,600 banking agents, 23 branches. I think she'll give us some perspective on that when we get into our discussion. Mamie has both a master's degree in human resource management from the University of Salford and a bachelor's degree in finance from Lubumbashi, which is connected with Harvard Business School. So it's a kind of mini MBA in strategy and business development. She has a certificate in leadership from Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, and also in leadership from Stony Wharton University, as well as a degree from the American Bankers Association. Mamie, welcome. How are you today? And you're on mute.
Hi, Tom. Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for the presentation.
I'm glad that we can introduce you. I hope I got some of my facts correct on the DRC. The more I read, the more I became intrigued about the remarkable aspects of your country. So you must be very proud to be there.
Yeah.
So we will start just by having you give us a little bit of perspective on the bank, on your microfinance role, and we'll start there, and then I'll continue to ask some questions. What I want to invite everyone is that you can put questions in the chat. I'll be picking those up as we go along. And again, to remind everyone that there's simultaneous translation, interpretation. If you go to the bottom of your screen and click the interpretation button, you can choose English or Spanish to speak. So, Mamie, shall we start with a couple of slides to give people a perspective?
Yes, please. So, as said, Finca DRC is a microfinance institution. So, we serve customer with passion. Our mission is delivered with passion towards our vision. We are having a social mission as Finca to serve the poor micro entrepreneur and make sure that they improve their standard of living, they create job, and they reduce poverty in the community. So we serve our customer, our value. So we serve our customers with warmth, with responsible banking, with trust, so that we can help them to create a bright future. So our staff, they are really motivated in the field, no matter the circumstances, ready to listen. So we are using biometric, and we are in the market since 2003. So if we go to the next slide, we can see the journey that Finca DRC has been having. It seems huge because this is 19 years. So we started in 2003, in February 2003, as an NGO. Finca started as an NGO, giving out loans to group of women only at that time. Then in December 2003, we started also to join men in our business. Later on, we start also giving out individual loans from group only to individual loan customers. Then in 2011, we started our transformation journey with the agent banking network. So from there, we've moved as a deposit taking company. So we started implementing digital transformation. We started first with the agent network, then we added the USSD in 2016. We also added the bank to wallet, wallet to bank in 2016. Then we started with value add services like TV payment, school fees, tax payment. Then in 2018, we also launched our product on the mobile application, on the app and iOS. And in 2019, we started joint venture with MNOs by launching our mobile loans and savings products. And in 2019, October, so we launched our own application that we call Click by Finca. And today, Click by Finca is serving over 100,000 customers. And as Finca, we are having 23 branches. We have an agent network of over 1,650 agents. And we have over 560 full-time employees, and we serve over 370 customers with a loan portfolio of 75 million and savings deposits of over 68 million. So this is our journey, so the transformation journey. And I think we are going to put the video so that we can have an idea of what Finca DRC is doing in this journey. So please watch the small video to see one of the products on the digital transformation.
Thank you very much.
A traditional model where we interface with our clients in person, it's something that we're really excellent at. You know, the thing that's super exciting to me is that I actually think that we can translate almost everything that's really special about Finca to a digital platform.
Click is a mobile application. We are giving opportunity to everyone who is having a phone to be a Finca customer.
C'est pe na makasi ezosunga biso esengaka biso tokende na Finca Express. Finca Express omona na teki ti ba 17h au connexion ezate.
The convenience for them of being able to check their balances in their own home or send a payment without having to leave.
I can pay my TV. I can pay school fees. I can pay tax. I can do savings.
Confiance eza po mbongo nga moko na otarda na téléphone nanga. Téléphone ezaka tout près na ngai.
But being a responsible provider means much more than just providing people with access.
It's not always easy for everyone to use new technologies.
Yambo na eba click. Nazaki kusala ngo liboso te donc nazaki ubangela.
So we are targeting people on how to use the product.
We have to make sure that not only do they have access to the right services, but that they really understand what it means to take that on. We're really leveraging the digital technology that's available to encourage them in the right financial behaviors.
We train them on how to do budgeting, save money. By giving them that training, we expect those customers to manage well the money, to grow the business, and also to improve the standard of living.
We don't want to interact with our clients exclusively over a digital platform. We're hoping that they progress in their relationship with us where they do actually come into the branch or to an agent, and then we can establish that relationship that goes beyond just the digital platform.
En tout cas, nasepeli makasi mpona ndenge balakisi nga kosalela na click nazopesa confiance mingi na Finca po eza koalege nga na baproblème mingi.
So thank you for that. And Mamie, that already gives me many questions I want to ask you. I want to zoom in very quickly on this capacity to develop and educate people, and maybe the example of Click that we just saw. Tell us a little bit about those relationships and the way that you develop relationships with Finca Impact Finance.
Actually, those relations, this is microfinance. Microfinance, it's all, when you talk about Finca value, you talk about one of them is trust, is warmth, is responsible banking. So you can't do those values without that touch point. So as we are going digital, we should not replace the phone with that human touch. So we create products that create interactions, and we also create ways to educate those customers so that they can use. Because the bad thing with the digital products, if customers, they are not well educated, they will open up accounts, but they will not use them. They will not understand how to use. So that communication is key. So that's why we also focus on it, and we try to push as much as we can.
And what have you learned along the way? What has surprised you? What, as you've gotten into much more of a digital frame, a digital platform?
Actually, what surprised me more is the acceptance level. The acceptance level at the customer level, as well as at our own internal staff. Because this transformation that Finca DRC did, I'm proud to say that 95%, over 95% has been done, realized by the existing staff. So they are moving as technology is moving. So we were not obliged to hire people from outside to come and teach them what to do in the digital platform, but they are growing with that business. So seeing that transformation coming from the NGO, so it is something wonderful, and I really appreciate and do recognize the strength of our DRC team that we are having.
Sounds fantastic. I read that recently the World Bank said that the consolidation and strengthening of the microfinance sector in the DRC could facilitate an expansion of financial services and attract long-term investors. Do you feel that Finca is playing a role in this?
Yes, actually Finca is the model, and we are playing a huge role in that. Being the biggest microfinance company in the market, we are the leaders, and we show the way to many. Because if you see the agent banking network, Finca DRC was the first financial institution, banks or MFI, to launch the agent banking. So we're the first to have the digital mobile loans application. We're the first to do the wallet to bank, bank to wallet. So with all those products that we are launching and seeing today, many microfinance institutions joining that journey, seeing banks, because when I'm going to my mobile wallet, before I used to see only Finca. Do you want to transact from your e-wallet to Finca? But now when I open it, I see like 6 banks and MFIs on that list. So it is really, Finca is playing a huge role, and we are really proud of what we are doing in the market.
And it seems like there's real opportunity for growth. So this is a first step in a long process. One of the things clearly you're very proud about Finca and the work that you're doing. What difference do you see you're making as a leader in the bank there and in the other geographies that you're serving in? And I want to get, today I want to talk about Finca, but I want to talk about and hear about you as a leader.
Yes, me as a leader, the difference that we are making, but myself as a leader, I do recognize that with what we are doing, we are serving as mentor to many women, ladies who would like to join this journey. At least they can see what we have realized and also dream to do bigger than what we are doing now. So I'm pretty sure that what we are achieving, what I've achieved as Mamie in my career for the past 19 years can serve as a motivation to young people, young ladies that are joining microfinance sector today.
I know from our discussions, Mamie, that you have a special interest in growing and developing women in the finance sector. Are there things that now that you've been on your journey that you feel important to share with folks who are just starting out in their own careers as women?
Yes, actually, things that I can share in my own career is that touch point with customers. I think the foundation of my success is being closer to customer. So they're like inspiring you. So when I get out of the university, I was thinking to be in the office like the one I'm having today, having my computer, working in very good conditions. But when I started microfinance, I had to go to the field. I had to go and convince customers that you should trust, and by doing business with us, you improve your standard of living. But seeing it happen has made it different for me, because even myself, when I was telling to customers, you know what, with $20 today, it can grow your revenue, and tomorrow your capital may move from $20 to $100. So that one, it was, this is what we study at school. This is what we learn at first when we join Finca as staff, that, you know, these loans will help people to, will empower people, will reduce poverty. But seeing it, living it with those customers, seeing a customer who was not able to send kids to school, being in position to pay school fees for the kids, feed the kids the way they're supposed to, and be in position to grow, have their own house. Actually, it's something that motivated me, and it is like my foundation in the microfinance sector. So seeing them successful, it is more than, and I'm also learning from them. I'm also learning from them, because with the little that we give and seeing the achievement that they are doing, it's a real motivation. And this is the reason of existing of microfinance.
It's beautiful the way you can express that, and in that sense, you live through the lives of your customers. I want to take us back to the time when you first got involved, and maybe even before that, in finance. What took you there? I know you've got a little bit of an entrepreneurial background from an early age, but what was your path to end up where you are now, so eloquently being able to express the needs of customers? Where did this all start?
I think this all starts myself when I was young. My grandma was a business lady, a businesswoman. So whenever I was in holidays, I used to go where she was doing her business with something to sell. And she will motivate the friends to buy from me. So sometimes I used to go when it was very hot, I will go with soda, very cold soda, and they will buy it from me. And sometimes we'll go with schools material when it was holidays, and holidays soon to end. Parents, they are looking for to buy stuff for the kids. I will go with it and sell it. My grandmother, my father, they were always there to support my mom as well. So it gives me that impulsion, and every time during holiday, I will always do something. So, and I was really appreciating doing it. At the university, it reached a point when I was like, okay, I want to do a poultry. So I did the poultry, and my dad was like, okay, so I'm going to build up something for you. So I did the poultry, and every 45 days I was able to sell it. And those ladies, when they're coming to buy those chicken, I was very happy and proud of it. And when I went to the university, after the interview, they told me, you know what, because I wanted to do medicine. So they told me, you better do economy. I was like, why not even law? They're like, no, with the way we are seeing you, you have to do economy. So this is how I learned myself in economy, and it was not a mistake. I think they were very right. That's why it is very good to really follow advice. So I did economy, and I did I went to a bank to do my trainee practice. And when I was at the bank, it was very good seeing, customer coming. You have to feel for them, they sleep. You have to welcome them. So I was like, this is great. And as I was ending university at my bachelor, I wrote my paper on the saving. So, and it was like the conclusion of my work, it was like it is possible to save and improve. So for me, when I joined Finca as a trainee, I was like, yeah, this is what I wrote on my paper. So it's good to practice it. And when I see it live, it's like, like a baby that you are seeing growing, and that motivation, that passion is in you, and that success is pushing you to keep on doing something good, pushing you to stay alive. So when technology is coming, you are like, okay, if I don't change, I may lose my customer. So let me do something that I will get there. So when I was in Finca Uganda, I realized that most of our customers, they had an activity doing somewhere. So I was like, okay, we need to launch an agriculture product so that our customers will find themselves getting the product that matters. So being in the business, every step, listening to them, seeing what they are doing, it is helping not only me to grow, it is also helping others also to grow and also come up with evidences of what we are doing, of the touch points, and what we are leaving as gifts to the market that we are serving.
Well, I think we can thank the medical industry for not letting you become a doctor. It feels like you are a financial healer of sorts. What's extraordinary is your indomitable spirit comes out very strongly. You're living in a country that is full of hardships as well, and I'm thinking, how do you experience that, and in what ways have you been able to overcome some of the challenges that happen day to day? And I just want to give our participants today a sense of what you have to overcome in order to get to where you've been able to produce new products and services and develop the bank in the way that you just showed us. What have been some challenges?
Actually, my first challenge that I had in my career was the language barrier. I started to work in Kinshasa. I was new in Kinshasa. I didn't know well the city, and the language spoken by the market that we are serving, it's Lingala. And I was from the southern part of Congo I was speaking Swahili. So, but I have to go out and sell our products. I was convinced that they were good products, but how to communicate. So what helped me to succeed? I had to go to my friends and colleagues, tell them, you know what, you need to help me. If you don't help me, it will be difficult for me to succeed. So my first meeting, one of my friends accepted to go with me. So she talked to the customer, explained them in Lingala, and she told them that I couldn't speak Lingala fluently. And in the group of those women, one lady was like, okay, I can speak Swahili, so I can help others. So the first meeting, I was helped by my friends, by my colleagues, because I had that language barrier. So then after that, I start learning with customers. So in my group meetings, it was like a comedy because I will pronounce bad some words. So it's will make them laugh, but it was creating a good working environment. And that was pushing customers to always be there because somehow Mamie will make a mistake and we laugh, and it was part of the life. That was the language barrier that I get. Another one that I get when I went to Tanzania, it was a new environment. So the culture, different culture from ours. And I was pushing, for me, it was business. I have to make business run properly. I have to do recoveries. And it was such difficult. I realized that I had to wake up at 4 a.m. so that I will not lose my 5 a.m. bus, because if I lose it, I will not reach the point and miss the customers. Customers, they were far in villages. So I learned to use a motorcycle as a way of transport in my life. I used the motorcycle. It was my first time. I learned to use them in Tanzania, because once you don't get your bus, so it is difficult. Actually, if you don't find a way out, you will not get it happen. And when I became a branch manager, I learned that with only one laptop, we could grow the portfolio from 0 to 1 million. So I was very strict with my staff. You take the laptop, one customer, 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, you have to give it to someone else. And we grew the portfolio to 1 million with those 2 laptops. And by the time we had all the material coming in, we had our customers served without any issues. So this is some key. And as we are going in digital transformation, there is no national ID in DRC. So you have to go with digital transformation. So, how will you make your customers? So it is somehow you have always to find ways on how you can serve better. But I think all those learning issues, they've helped us to grow and to always find a way out. Like for the POS device, we started with cards, then we realized that our customer couldn't use cards. So we shift to biometrics. So as we shift to biometrics, always our customers will have the fingers with them. So it is even secure for them. And it is helping us a lot. So with financial literacy, there is no national ID, but at least with our value, trust, customer can still trust us, transact, and continue to pay back Finca.
Very exciting to hear how you overcome challenges. We have a number of folks who are commenting, recognizing your kindness, the stories of your customers. I want to invite people to put in questions as well. As we continue on in your journey, Mamie, I think one of the things that stood out is that you seem to be able to translate your own experience of your values into the values that you expose or see in your coworkers and eventually in your customers, as I hear it now. Is that something explicit? Is that something intentional? Or is that something that you have systematically thought through and how to make those values live in the products and services that you are responsible for?
Actually, I think it is a must, because we are in a community. We can't succeed alone. So if we want to move and succeed, it is always good to move as a group, as a team, have people that trust in you and you also trusting others. Because without that, it is difficult to succeed. And microfinance is all about because in microfinance we work with the golden rule. So what I'm doing has an impact of what the other will do. So if I don't give out the loan on time, the customer will lose the business opportunity. And if he loses the business opportunity, he will not be able to pay me back. He will not be able to grow. So in the job, if I don't sign the loan agreement that has been put on my desk, the team, the customer care officer that handled the customer will be embarrassed. What will she explain to the customer? My boss didn't sign the agreement, you know? So there is that independence in the job that we are doing. So for me, that synergy is key to success. So that's working as a team is key, and we don't succeed as an individual, we succeed as a group.
And in that, what I want to do is I want people to feel a day in the life of a chief executive in the DRC. So I want to go back to that a little bit because you have many, many agents that are working for you. Tell us a little bit about how you see the architecture of Finca that you're responsible for, and how you make that system work, just in a system sense.
Yeah, how I make the system work is first by understanding the job of what everyone is doing. Because if I understand what they are doing, I will also perceive very well their needs, their challenges, and I can come up with solution for that. I really love being in the fields. I really love visiting branches so that I can hear to them. So on day-to-day business, I am always in touch with Finca staff. Like today, I was in touch with 90% of my branch managers, just to tell them how is the business doing. So I would like you to push XY, because if we don't do it, it will not be good for us. So on daily basis, I'm able to be in touch with them. On daily basis, we've put up reports, we have automated reports on things that matters. So on daily basis, I receive them on my email. So in the morning, I start by there and see the aspect of the business that requires attention and see what is not working well, and then focus on that. Listen to them. I'm always there, actually. The email that is sent to me within 24 hours, I should respond. Because when they are taking the time to write to me, I have to respond. If they call me on my phone, I have to respond, because they are like, for me, they are like my bosses. I'm the CEO, but they are the one that are making the whole job. So I have to respect what they are doing. I have to really serve them better, because if I serve them better, I give them what is needed, they will also deliver a good job. So in my job, I really value what my staff is doing. I really value sitting with them. Even sometimes it annoys them, because if I sit there, they're like, it's okay, you can go. I remember one time, one of the branch manager telling me, you know what? I know what you're expecting from me. You just go back in your office and I will do it. So this is how my days look like, and I'm really proud. If I don't do it, I feel like I'm sick. So I'm the field-oriented person.
I really get a sense of your method, your approach, and what I'm wondering is that if you transfer your experience to microfinance in general in Africa or in the wider microfinance community, what are some of the things that make the difference between microfinance that is successful and microfinance that is less successful in your own experience?
Actually, it's governance. Governance is very key in microfinance. So we have to have a good governance, transparency also with customers. When we are giving out loans, when they are opening accounts with us, we have to be transparent in what we are communicating to them. So if you tell the customer, if you give A, you will get B. If the customer gives you A, it should get that B that you promised. So the governance in terms of management, we have really to handle everything with care, follow all the policies and procedure, because in microfinance, a small mistake on the regulation can cost you to lose your license. So you can be successful having many customers, but if you don't follow the regulation as it's supposed to, you may lose it all. So governance is very key. Following all the process, the rules is also something very key if we want to succeed in microfinance.
And as you see, you've had a chance to travel around the world, educated in the UK as well. When you see the contrast between finance and banking in places like the DRC compared with where a number of our members are in the north, what are the real differences? What are the elements that you think this is what you really need to understand about someone who's doing microfinance in the places in the world where we are?
Actually, the huge difference I'm seeing is first, things are so organized. In developed countries, and even in some countries in Africa, you see they have even the national system where they just put the number and it's pop out and pop up give you the name of the customer, the address, everything. So this is something I'm like, I wish we could have this in DRC. So our mobile could have been really good. That things really is something that we are missing mostly now that we have to go digital. So using of cards, I know that we are building up that culture. So having cards in all the supermarkets, we are having in our markets, you have to move with cash, you know, you go to the supermarket with cash, you go to the market with cash. But somehow I remember one time in the US, I went in the supermarket and it was time to go back home trying to buy some gift. And when I give like $200, you know, the teller looked at me, this, and it was the note of hundreds. She had to call the supervisor to come and check those $100, you know, not because they are not so used to see cash. This is some of the things that would like really to have, you know. DRC is big, over 2,000 kilometers from one area to another. You have to travel, you have to fly. But when we are visiting some of your countries, you just take the road. The roads are perfect. You go and you reach there. For us, you know, today I was talking to one of my staff. He was complaining about the distance, that the 30-minute distance, but they did 3 hours, you know. So this is some of the things that would like really to have. And one of the branch managers today was sharing me a story of the customer who is not able to pay, and he was telling me that in the way when you want to buy goods from one region to another, still within Congo.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like you've frozen, Mamie.
But he has nothing, so he's trying to build up again and see how we can pay back our loans. These are kinds of the difficulties when I look at you, and I'm like, okay, you are lucky to have that aspect at least covered.
Yeah. No, I think the challenges are enormous, and yet it feels like an adventure every day for you. I can't imagine. We have a question from Michael Barth. He says, the challenge must be that trust and efforts can be regularly broken with a lack of loyalty, which makes it hard for your investments to flourish. Is that true? And if so, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with this loyalty question?
Actually, this is not an easy question. I remember in 2016 and 17, DRC was going through a huge political crisis, insecurity, and our country was ranked 5, red zone, and all our lenders, they were, you know, anxious. We had over 30 million loans, and we're having meeting every 1 or 2 hours. You have to have a meeting to ensure that the money is in security. So what I can tell him as a response, is that experience that we had during that time. So we're always there in the meetings. Some of them, they will ask us, please, in the next meeting, we want to see scenarios on if this happened, what if this happened, what will you do, what if this happened? So we were coming with those scenarios to show them we are there. And as we were presenting, so I know that outside there were Finca or DRC was presented as a high-risk country, but we had to show to them also what we are doing as good things that they should rely on and trust that their money was secure with us. So, so we're always there responding. I remember one day, me and my colleague Mirella, we had to travel from Kinshasa to Lusaka to go and meet the partner who wanted really to talk to us. And we had to travel, go there, reach at 6 a.m., then have a meeting from 10 to 6, present all aspects that will ensure that we are in security, they are in security. And after that, we had at 8 p.m. to go back to the airport, take our plane and come back to Kinshasa. Because they couldn't come to Kinshasa, we were always there for them. When they were asking for us to come, we were there. Questions, when they are coming up with questions, what is the strategy that you are putting in place? You give the strategy. And next time, you start by giving the result of the strategy that you took. So we did this. This is the result that we got. And also being very transparent with shareholders, with board of directors, when you are having difficulties, to tell them, like today, out of 23 branches, 5 couldn't open because of security. But when they open tomorrow, you're like, okay, today all our branches, they are open. So keep them updated. That communication has really helped us a lot to overcome that difficulty.
So it sounds also like these very different understandings of risk and opportunity are day to day for you. Daniel Serfia Madheim, sorry, excuse me for mangling your name, was asking in the beginning, what is the biggest challenge for financial inclusion in Central Africa, and how do you contribute to the SDGs or an SDG in the work that you do? Are you conscious of that as being important as well?
Yeah, actually, yes, financial inclusion, it's a challenge because we are having infrastructure. Like for DRC, Central Africa is not only DRC, we're having Central Africa as a country, we're having Congo Brazzaville, we are in Congo Kinshasa. But if it is to talk about Congo Kinshasa infrastructure, you know, not everyone has access to infrastructure. You have to take a flight and it's expensive. Even the communication, not everyone has access to the phone. So what we are doing for us to really push with financial inclusion is to do digital transformation. Our mobile product, they are not only on the Android phone, on Apple, no, even the ordinary phone. By just doing *455#, our customer can be able to transact, open accounts, or do the savings deposit. And our mobile loan are low as $5. So we give a $5 to a customer. So it makes really a difference to that customer to get a $5 loan than to repay in 1 week. So this is what we are trying to do and make those customers really appreciating what we are doing, and also taking in account the poverty level, because you can't give a loan of $100 to someone who can only afford $10. So we try really to go low so that we can involve everyone. And we have a white list of the product that we serve to our customers. So we are really conscious about the environment. We have to protect the environment. So we try and support much, and we try, and with the digital transformation, we reduce on using paper. So we are really going paperless, trying to implement workflow system that can really handle all our process, from the beginning up to the end without necessary requesting for customers to bring papers, bring photo, bring IDs. So our system is having everything incorporated. We take our pictures, we take the picture of the ID, so it reduces the number of the paper that we are using.
It sounds like your efficiency is as important for you as it is for many of our banks over time. Again, thanks everyone for contributing in the chat. Keep going with that. If I look at the overall arc of your career, the career of a banker, of a financial institution, how do you measure progress? How do you see what's really important, and what does that say about where you want things to go in the future? What is your highest hope for how Finca develops, how you develop as a person? Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yes, actually, my dream is to really serve millions of customers. I would like really to reach 1 million active customers. My dream is really to be all over the country without necessarily being physically there. My dream is to be able to have those customers every day, waking up, being able to transact in all security using the product that we are putting in front of them, and that will be a great pleasure. Seeing 1 million active customers celebrate.
Yeah, it would be amazing. And if you were speaking to a group of young leaders, and I think you probably had opportunities many times to do that, what would you be helping them to understand about money and about how they need to think about their own financial futures?
Yeah, actually, it's happened really we have started, we as Finca DRC, and even just the all microfinance network, because I chair the National Association of Microfinance. So we have realized that to build up the next generation in our markets is to start also by giving education to young. We go to the schools, we go to universities, and most of our key messages is we can start saving with the little that we are having. Don't wait to have millions, then start saving. So you can start saving and create those millions. And also, like in our country, the employment rates is very high. So you are having maybe 2% chance for you to get the job when you finish school, but you can create your own job. So that's why it's good for young people to start thinking about their future, not only as employees, they can also think about their future as employers. So they can create jobs. So it is very key for our young people today to understand that not everyone will found a finca and start working there. Most of us, we have to think on creating ways so that we can give job to others, and it is possible.
We have a question, Mamie, from, I think it's Max Ruri, is asking if you would lead a European bank, so transport yourself into running a European bank. What would be one of the things or one of the first things you would introduce? And what challenges do you see in Europe from your experience and your perspective where you are?
Actually, I've not worked in European bank. I've been in Africa, mostly Central East Africa. But I think if because I did at the American Bank Association, I studied for 3 years. So every year I was in Philadelphia and I was going to the university. I think what I will try to do for my first thing that I will do is that touch point. Because it's like customers that are interacting with machines, I would like that touch point. That touch point is missing in developing country. I think even customers in your developed country, they need that attention. Just a call, just someone to handle. You remember when I was a student, my first year, I opened an account in one of the bank because I was like, okay, I have to have the card. I opened an account. They explained to me, this is your account, this is it, and they gave me the card. As we are in Africa, you can use it. And so for me, I put my money there. I was like, okay, as long as I'll be traveling every year to go to school, I will keep this only when I travel. So the next year when I went there, and on my way, I was like, okay, let me try to get some cash out. I tried and my card didn't come out. I didn't get cash. I didn't get my card. And when I go back to the bank, they were like, no, you know, you have charges on your card and you are not using it. And all those things were not explained to me. And the guy was like, okay, what do you want? I'm like, what I want? Just close my account, and we stop there. So that touch point is needed. I think it's something that can still be done in Europe, in America. Yes.
Yes, we're humans around the world. Vincent is asking a question. What are Finca's objectives and the values around which you have managed to unite your employees, your co-workers, to create performance? So what are some of the values that have helped to do that? Trust, I heard you say, is one.
Actually, in Finca, we say like inspires. We have to inspire. So when we inspire our customer, our staff, that E of inspire is like innovate, initiate, you know? So we push it, innovate, initiate, and we innovate, initiate, and we value ideas that our staff, they are bringing, and we try to put it in action. We have to respect idea. Don't just get it and don't put it in practice. I think that's what has helped us to reach, because when the staff is seeing that my idea is being implemented, it make it different. So in Inspire, we have S. That S, we say surprise. Yes, you want to grow your career. Yes, you want to be recognized, but surprise us. I ask you to bring me one, but bring two. Surprise me by bringing me more than what I've requested. You know, that there is that surprise bit that is coming there. There is that N, nature. You know, you're having your customer. You need to nurture, handle that customer with care, so that as he's growing, the children will see that our mother, our father has been doing this, and we studied, we can now go to school, we can now pay our hospital fees. So you nurture what you are putting in place. So we are like inspire. There is another S, you know, you have to give foods to what you are bringing up. So, and the P is like you have to pursue what you want. So you know your objective. I want to get there. Please pursue and reach there. So you have also to recognize. You know, there is another R, recognize. When a staff has done something special, please recognize. When customers, they are doing something special, we do recognize our agents. We give them some trophy. We give them some gifts, even if it is not coming regularly, but when it comes, they are happy. So we need really to excel on what we are doing. So this is what we in Finca we call, like, you know, inspire. We inspire, and using our brand value, like our pillars, warmth, trust, responsible banking. So when I'm asking the customer to wait for me for 30 minutes, if I was that customer and they asked me to wait for 30 minutes, how would I feel? So these are, you know, this is the Finca values and brands pillar that we are trying to pursue and to get where we are.
Mamie, I think you can see from the notes, and people can put in their feedback as we close off. We're on the hour now. It's my highest hope is that since we've recorded this, that many of our banks around the world can start their mornings every day by watching this video, because it is so inspirational and it gives us so much a sense of who you are, what you are faced with and challenged with. And I just want to know, you're part of the Global Alliance for Banking on Values. What does that mean for you?
Actually, I was even surprised when I was called for the first time. Our CEO was like, "No, I would like you to get in touch with Global Alliance." So when we requested, I look at the material that was shared. I saw that it was full of big banks, and I'm like, "Okay, we are a microfinance. How can Finca be part of it?" So thank you for trusting Finca DRC. Thank you, and we are there. So I think we are an example that a microfinance can also be part of this alliance.
Well, we're very happy that you're part of the GABV family, and look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully at the annual meeting in Dhaka. And thank you everyone else for joining in. As we said, this has been recorded, and I think it gives us a great opportunity, as we said in the beginning, to put a spotlight on one of our great leaders in our Global Alliance banks. Thank you, Mamie, and thanks to everyone who joined in. We'll say bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.